He made the national news when he was rescued from under a burning car. Now he's sitting up and talking.
And so are his rescuers. We'll catch up with them and their newfound fame.
The death toll rises from the crash at the Reno Air Races.
And even though football had a bye this week, BYU's enormous loss is definitely something worth looking at. Soccer went into the weekend undefeated. We'll see how they came out.
With homecoming week upon us, I'll have your 5-day forecast so you'll know what to wear to this weekend's game. All that and more coming up right after this.
The death toll is now at 11 after a P-51 Mustang aircraft crashed at the Reno Air Races. Several people were killed on impact, including the pilot, 74-year-old Jimmy Leeward. If you look closely, you can see that the 1940s model plane lost a piece of its tail, playing a part in the crash. Dozens of people were sent to the hospital, several still in critical condition.
We have an update on the condition of Brandon Wright.
I've always thought that life is extremely precious, but having this experience...
It's not. Brandon was the motorcyclist who was hit and caught under a car last week south of campus on Highway 89 after being pulled from the wreckage by heroic citizens. Brandon was life-flighted to the Intermountain Medical Center in Murray. He is now in stable condition, but has 6 to 8 weeks of therapy before he can be discharged. Doctors say he should make a full recovery. Brandon says the accident won't keep him from getting back on a bike, but it has given him a greater perspective on life and a heart full of gratitude to those who rescued him.
Brandon's not the only one calling these people heroes. Kudos from around the world are coming in to honor ordinary citizens who performed an extraordinary act.
You've seen videos of the wreckage, but what about those who saved the life of Brandon Wright?
This is the original scene of the accident. 2 of the rescuers came up to it from Highway 89, while 3 others were here in the MAC building. They heard the impact, looked out the window, and came running out the doors and into the national spotlight.
From local press conferences to national talk shows, these guys have been everywhere.
For sure. This is the most amazing thing when I saw this footage.
But what did they have to say about this heroic act?
The only thing that came to my mind was just go and give some help. And all I did was to give.
The chance of him dying if we don't do anything would be like 100%. And the chance of us, like, being in danger if we helped him would be like very low. Like, it would be like, what, 15, 20%? It's okay, we don't care about that.
To them, pulling Brandon out from under the flaming car was merely a common courtesy, one that they feel anyone would do in the same situation.
I mean, honestly, anybody, and I hope anybody here would have done the same thing.
The danger, I didn't think of it for a minute, because all I thought was if it was my son under the car or my brother or my relative, it doesn't care who was under the car, so long as we can give him a second chance. You never know.
And although many are calling these individuals heroes or even angels, they aren't so quick to accept the titles.
It's neat, I guess, that people are making such a big deal of it, but I don't quite get it, because I think that anybody that was there would have done the same thing.
But to Brandon and the city of Logan, they are heroes.
And we expect the honors to keep rolling in for these local heroes.
Runners from across the nation converged in Logan this weekend for the Top of Utah Marathon. But why do these people run a marathon? Here's Randall Henry with the story.
As crowds gathered at Merlin Olson Park to watch as runners at the Top of Utah Marathon finished, anticipation was high as the first runner, Paul Peterson, came down the stretch, finishing with a time of 2 hours, 20 minutes, and 30 seconds. Other runners soon followed As more and more crossed the finish line, runners began to talk about a marathon and why they ran.
It's a challenge. It's a lot of work. It hurts the entire time, but it is fun.
Good job! Runners continued to come in, and more runners began to share their experiences.
The main purpose that I run in marathon is die before run the first marathon.
Top of Utah Marathon will continue to draw people from all over in the camaraderie of run. I'm Randy Henry with ATV.
The reasons these people come together seem to be as varied as the runners themselves. Utah State University has completed negotiations with the LDS Church that will allow it to take ownership of the church building on the east end of campus. Jessica Black has more on the story.
The building is the very same church building so many students have affectionately nicknamed the Golden Toaster. Some students are concerned that the land swap will mean saying goodbye to their beloved landmark.
It's going to be sad to see it go. It's so iconic of the east side of campus, and it's the church everyone knows. You know, more people have seen and been inside the toaster, I think, than been inside the Institute building. It's just a part of life. It's the toaster. Everyone knows the toaster.
I've heard mixed reviews so far. I've heard some people that are kind of excited about it. A lot of people that I know weren't very excited about it at all because they went to most of their, at least single life, going to college, they went to the toaster here and they're not too happy about seeing it go. And
the proposal agrees that USU will not pay the church any money for the property, but will exchange a portion of the abandoned trailer court located just down the street.
Good location for a new building, and be a good location for the church building too because it's closer to where all the students live, or some of the students live, I guess.
I guess it'll be nice to have something right besides a trailer park, but on the other hand, it's not the toaster. It doesn't have the sentimental value. I'm not sure why the university couldn't build on the trailer park if they already own it.
Unfortunately, no one from administration was willing to talk on camera. However, a faculty member did tell me the swap proposal is in the works.
The land swap is currently pending approval from the USU Board of Trustees and the Utah Board of Regents. So how do you reduce, reuse, and recycle? The Revive Fashion Show is an event where you can take the Statesman, read it, and use it for a night on the town.
It was a night full of things found around the house, all for a good cause.
We're actually collecting food for a snack, the Student Nutrition Center, to raise awareness for hunger.
Last year's canned food donations were enough to last the entire year.
Everybody needs a Post-it note. She has them.
Students had only 3 weeks to create their look out of everyday items that was not already functioning apparel.
Some of them are shower curtains, some of them are newspapers, old curtains, anything.
It wasn't an easy task to complete.
I tried it on and I was like, oh my gosh, I have a dress. It's not ripping, it's a real dress.
Frustrating at times. You have this one idea and it doesn't really work. Instead, it just falls apart.
In the end, the audience seemed to like the finished designs, along with a few surprises.
I really like the wedding dresses. I would totally wear one for my wedding.
It was really cool to see how creative everyone was.
And there's some really amazing ones that you definitely wouldn't have imagined seeing here.
Your only limit is your imagination, basically.
One of the guys actually used his design to go out hunting. The guy at the end
Is he the one that looks like the Yeti?
Yeah, and he started shedding on the stage as he walked by.
That is fantastic. A good way to know how to recycle.
It was a good time.
But recently, Utah State University held their first poetry and beverage event of the year.
Poetry and Beverage is held every month. It is an event where students can express themselves through poetry and music.
So Poetry and Beverage was designed by an arts and lectures director many moons ago. It's become a pretty great Aggie tradition. It's about celebrating talent with poetry, with music. It's pretty much an open mic night, and also to provide a social atmosphere for people without alcoholic drinks. So during the year we provide different kinds of drinks. It happens about once a month. Our next one is October 15th. It's going to be a pre-game po-bev, and after the po-bev we're going to show the football game sponsored with the Herd. So it'll be a great night.
During the event, some students participated in games where they could win the Poetry and Beverage t-shirts. Anthony Pratt explains why he took part in this event.
Po-bev because it's a great way to showcase your talents and show you as you that at what great talent that we all have, you know, just to share.
He also advises students to participate in upcoming Poetry and Beverage events.
The first one of the year, I go to every single one all semester long, so tell your mama, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your roommate, come out. They do it once a month, every month throughout the whole year, and just come. It's live.
The event is very well received as many students showcase their talents in both poetry and music. Hopefully more and more students will participate in future Poetry and Beverage events. This is Nadia Johari for ATV News.
Well, we have many talented students here at Utah State University, and we're grateful that they would share those gifts with music and poetry.
I'm Carly Lichty here with an ag tractor. Normally in Logan, fall means snow is on its way. Will there be snow in this week's forecast? I'll let you know right after this break. Welcome back, Aggies. I'm Carly Lichty. Here's your 5-day weather forecast. Let's see what Mother Nature has in store for us this weekend. Today, the temperature reached a high of 79 degrees, and it is gorgeous outside. But with fall just around the corner, we're going to be experiencing cooler temperatures at night, as the overnight low will dip down to 42 degrees. If you're planning on participating in the Powder Puff Games tomorrow, the weather is looking good. It'll be sunny and in the low 80s with an overnight low of 45. Friday, the first day of fall, is going to be a beautiful day with a high of 83. We'll see a few clouds in the sky, but it's not anything that will dampen your day. The overnight low will be 45 degrees, so be sure to bundle up, grab your honey, and make your way over to True Aggie Night. Saturday will reach a high of 83 as well, and a low of 47. So if you're going to the homecoming game, you might want to take a jacket, as it will get a little chilly in the late evening. And Sunday will continue in the low 80s and dip down to 47 overnight. So it looks like we'll have plenty of sunshine this weekend, so get out there and enjoy all the homecoming festivities. And make sure you go to the football game, it should be a good one. We'll be right back with ATV Sports right after this.
Welcome back, Aggies, to ATV Sports. Well, I know what you're thinking. Why is ATV News covering the Utah-BYU game? I mean, it's not like we enjoy watching the Cougars going down in flames, but we're just closely watching the caliber of play to, see who's going to have the beehive boot or the old wagon wheel. It's, and if it's based on Saturday's game, I'm pretty sure that we're going to keep the boot and the wheel. But, the running Utes ran away with the game. But just how badly did the Cougars do? The Holy War started off on an equal playing field, but soon left Bronco Mendenhall speechless, quickly turning into a Cougar bloodbath after Jake Heaps kept fumbling the ball. He just could not keep it in his hands. For a total of 2 fumbles and an interception, Heaps did not come out with a good start for their home opener. The plays speak for themselves, with the Utes scoring touchdown after touchdown, getting extra point after extra point, leaving the Cougars silent for the rest of the game. With a game as terrible as this one, what could the Cougar fans do other than sit on their hands and wait it out or leave the game early? The running Utes lived up to their name, allowing Jordan Wynn to sit in the pocket with an ease to throw a 59-yard pass to Dre Anderson for a touchdown. It seems like the Utes could run and run the whole game, leaving the Cougars in their dust. But the Utes aren't all about their passing game. John White IV rushed this ball for 35 yards for a touchdown. At the end of the night, the score was a bone-crushing 54-10, leaving all of the Cougar team sulking before the long walk back up the tunnel. Well, There's nothing better than seeing the Cougars go down the drain. But Utah State takes on BYU September 30th in Lavelle Edwards Stadium. Back to Aggie Athletics. The football homecoming game is this Saturday against the Colorado State Rams, who are currently 2-1. The Aggies are coming into the game rested after a bye week, so this will be a pivotal game for the Aggies. Who are 1-1 in their season. Colorado State seems to be tougher than Weber, but definitely not at the caliber of last year's champs Auburn. Coach Gary Anderson said in Sunday's press conference, "This is a big game for us. Colorado State is going to come in here and I believe expect to win. Our football team should feel the same way. We need to take care of ourselves in this football game. It's a quality opponent no matter how you see it." This is the game that will determine how Aggie fans look at the rest of the football season. Kickoff this Saturday is at 6 p.m. on Merlin Olsen Field in Romney Stadium. Well, Aggie hockey opened up their 2011-2012 season this past weekend with a series sweep of BYU. The Aggies beat the Cougars 12-3 on Friday and then came back on Saturday in Logan with an even bigger slashing of 17-3, all in front of a home crowd. Meredith Kinney was there and in the action.
Fans came out in full force Saturday night, eager to get a glimpse of their Aggies for the first time this season. The team did not disappoint, raining down goal after goal and knocking the BYU off their skates. The Aggies recorded 3 hat tricks on the night, coming off the sticks of Captain Brendan McDonald and forwards Tyler Mistelbacher and Jeff Sanders, who added all 3 of his goals in the second period.
Nice atmosphere, a lot of fans that came out to see us, so that was awesome. Just being again in my heart, last night, I got to thank all the guys, the goalie's been great.
Aggie freshmen Sean Irwin and Dee Fontaine, as well as Cooper Lim and Nate Cook, picked up their first goals in an Aggie uniform.
Black line, really played well tonight with all this kind of pressure. It's tough. Even though some of them aren't, with all those people out there, they're under a lot of pressure. They're nervous. It's the first time. I think there was 1,900 players, people out there. So we thank the fans. Everyone wants to make it.
After a long summer of work, fans came out.
Aggies take to the ice again this Friday against in-state rivals, the Weber State Wildcats at 7 in the Eccles Ice Arena. Well, it was a doubly disappointing weekend for the USU women's soccer team, who got caught up in their first loss against the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes on Friday 1-0. The soccer team was riding high on an 8-0 winning streak, but after playing a very physical game that included a total of 28 fouls, 17 of those fouls being on the Aggies, they couldn't bring back a victory. They headed into their second away game of the week, down 2 of their starting players against number 2 in the country, Oklahoma State. The Cowgirls came into the game scoring 2 goals in the first 4 minutes, and after that, the Aggies just couldn't get back on the horse. Coach Heather Cairns explains the difficulty of the situation early on. You can't go down 2-0 against the second-ranked team in the country and expect a good result. Going down 2 goals in the first 4 minutes made us chase the game. At times in the first half, we looked better than we did against Tulsa, but aren't going to be able to play catch-up against a team of that caliber very easily. The Aggies lost 3-0, bringing their season record to 8-2. Well, Aggies, that's it for ATV Sports. Come back next week for our highlights of volleyball and the homecoming football game. Stay tuned for more ATV news.
The honeybees did their part all summer long, and now it's the beekeepers' turn. Here's Meredith Kinney with the story.
After a long summer of work, local beekeeper Brian Williams is finally seeing the fruits of his labor. Wilson spent much of last weekend extracting honey from the 2 hives he's raising in his Providence backyard. The process of extracting honey is much simpler than you may imagine. The first step of the process is uncapping the honey. From here, it's just a short wait before the golden brown honey starts pouring out.
When it gets down in that bottom bucket, it's ready to go. That's all it is to it.
While the bees have been at it for thousands of years, and they're pretty much experts on their part of the process, Williams, on the other hand, extracted honey for the first time this year.
Raising these without any pesticides or anything. Anyhow.
Also on hand was Wilson's grandson, who got his first taste of the process as well.
It's pretty cool. Never done anything like this before.
Wilson said not only is beekeeping one of his hobbies, but the honey he receives at the end of the season, it makes great gifts as well.
And we bottle it, and we're going to give a bunch of it for Christmas presents this year.
Meredith Kinney, ATV News.
I don't know about you, Melissa, but I am craving a peanut butter and honey sandwich right now.
Oh, that would be so good.
How do we get on his gift list?
That would be so nice.
Oh,
we need to be
so
on that
good.
list. Homecoming week is upon us here at USU.
The festivities began on Monday night with the traditional street painting. Kelsey Keller brushed on by to see how it went.
Colorful murals now cover the streets, thanks to the efforts of many students. The majority of Aggie Boulevard closed down on Monday night as students gathered together to show their school spirit.
Hundreds of students from dozens of different organizations gather here tonight as they take part and leave their mark as Homecoming Week begins here at USU.
The street painting is the first major activity of Homecoming Week. It's a way for clubs and organizations to start the week off with United Aggie Pride.
You can tell we had a little bit of fun with it. Like, it's just fun. Like, you're just meeting new people. You get to be there and just we're all like together helping out for like one thing. Just fun.
Getting to know your other fellow athletes and students as well. That's why the athletics join with the herd, is so that we can get to know and join student athletes with student body.
Students plan out their mural weeks in advance. The goal is to paint something in a 10 by 10 block that represents the school as well as their group's own organization.
Council's just right back here. We're painting Big Block A and the world. This year we're talking about past and present and how that affects one another. Old and new and always Aggie blue. So I was running from a meeting, and so I'm still in my formal attire, but couldn't miss the street painting.
Yo, 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 yo. Not many dare to wear their formal attire to such an event. Some students make it their goal to come out and cover a friend or two in paint. Others carefully fill in the lines of their mural and bring in Homecoming Week one brushstroke at a time. This is Kelsey Keller with ATV News.
It looks like Homecoming of 2011 is off to a great start, and it's not even over.
Be sure to check out all the activities that are coming on the rest of this week.
Besides the homecoming parade, game, and dance, other events will be held this week, including Mr. USU, which will be tonight at the TSC Ballroom.
Powder Puff football is going on tomorrow night, and True Aggie Night will be Friday night at midnight.
Well, from all of us here at ATV News, this is Melissa Youngberg.
And this is Britta Anderson.